Hey YouTubers, it's your girl Shannon from Tesla and Chill, and today we are going to be starting a really long journey. We are going to be driving across the country from Washington to Washington. I know, that sounds really weird, but we're going from Washington State to Washington, D.C. That is where we are moving to. We are super excited about this, but we're driving both our Tesla and we're driving the Honda Accord Hybrid across the country together. I am really interested to see how much it's going to cost. We'll do some comparisons at the end of the video to see how much it costs in the Tesla versus the Honda. You can see here it's almost done charging. There it is. And you can see J3 in the back. He's sleeping. Oh, he's a little angel boy. He's especially an angel when he's sleeping, I'll be real. But here we are. You can see we have a lot of friends with us right now. We've got some 3s. I think I saw some X's and some S's earlier. But of course, since we are in Washington and this is our last time here, I wanted to show you, of course, Mount Rainier in the background right there. I know it looks really tiny. I don't know why. I feel like in all the pictures it looks really small, but in real life, of course, it's a lot bigger. But we are gonna go ahead, we are gonna get driving on our trip right now. We'll show you some highlights throughout the video, and then of course we'll get, of course, to how much everything costs at the end. But here we go, it's time to start. Let's get driving. I learned a lot of things when driving across country, so I wanted to share a few tips and tricks I picked up along the way with you. So tip number 1, you might be tempted to, but don't stop at every charger you see along the way. It may sound like a good idea, especially when you're traveling in an unfamiliar area, but this actually does a disservice to you and your car. Your Tesla charges the fastest when the battery is low. So for example, you could equate charging your battery to turning on a garden hose and letting it run freely at full speed to fill your battery up quickly with electricity. Whereas if you stop to charge somewhere and you already have half or even 3/4 of battery left, it's like turning on a garden hose and putting a kink in it. The electricity will only trickle in, so it kind of wastes your time to recharge the battery. It is day 2 of our trip right now. We spent the night last night in Spokane, Washington. We stayed for the first time at the Oxford Suites. You can see right here behind me. And it was actually pretty nice. I think we really liked our stay. I'll take you inside for a second. But the rooms, they're pretty big, they're pretty clean, which of course is important. You can tell I just stepped out of the shower here. But we're gonna go grab some breakfast real quickly, and then we're gonna go hit the car so we can go continue the next leg of our trip. I think right now we're hoping to be in Bozeman, Montana by the end of the night. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if J3 cooperates. But let's go ahead. Again, we're gonna go get some breakfast and then we're gonna get started driving again. Tip number 2, plan where you want to stay in advance and definitely make reservations. This is good for 2 reasons. First, you can research and choose the hotels that have destination chargers so you can charge overnight, which of course saves you time and usually money because destination chargers are free. It's also good to plan in advance because, as I learned the hard way, sometimes hotels can book up quickly, even in a pandemic. As we were on the road traveling to Bozeman, I called a Hilton hotel with a destination charger to book for that night, and they were completely booked. They were sold out. So I ended up calling 2 more hotels, and then the 3rd hotel after that finally had room. So we ended up staying at a La Quinta Inn, but I learned my lesson because there was no destination charger and no breakfast included in our stay. And the building was really a little less than desirable. So, lesson learned. Okay, so we're driving through Montana right now, and we're driving over a road that's being worked on, and there is loose gravel everywhere on the road. I don't know if you can hear it, but my husband, who's in front of me, he's kicking up gravel. It's been hitting the windshield. Thankfully, no chips yet, but it sounds awful. I'm really kind of nervous about what this could do like to the underside and lower parts of the car. I'm sure it'll be fine, but right now, just hearing it, it does not sound pretty. Now, back to Bozeman. We couldn't go there and not see Yellowstone, so we did spend our 3rd day just exploring the area. Of course, seeing Old Faithful was on our bucket list, and it was really cool to see. We also saw a few other craters and lakes and hot springs, and I have to say, from coast to coast and everywhere in between, America is really beautiful. So it was really neat to see all of this. But of course, we had to hit the road again. We couldn't stay too long, so the next day we packed up our stuff and we hit the road again, and our next destination was Rapid City, South Dakota. We spent the night here at the Rushmore Hotel, which was really nice. I think it's an affiliate of Best Western. But because we have an electric car, we got front row parking. We got to park our car right in front of the hotel. The Honda did not get the same treatment. It ended up having to be parked in the back of the hotel with the rest of the ICE vehicles. But that's okay, at least we got special treatment for one car. Am I right? And of course, we couldn't go through South Dakota without seeing Mount Rushmore. That was definitely on the bucket list. We came, we saw, we continued our travels. We just stopped for lunch in the Badlands of South Dakota, and let me tell you, it is bad. There is not much here, but we are stopping at Al's Oasis right now. We just had a quick lunch there. We're doing a charge. You can see right over there. There's the car. Let's go see how much it was, and then we'll hit the road again. We stopped for a quick recharge in Wisconsin, and we saw this really cool Tesla Model 3 wrap that was a part of a realty group, and we made a new friend with this Model X owner, and you can tell he was really proud of those Falcon doors. But why wouldn't he be? Okay, let's hit the road again. We didn't realize how close we were to Notre Dame, but once we saw we were near it, of course we had to stop by and see the campus, and wow, is it beautiful. And the stadium is huge too. Alright, let's get back to my tips. Tip number 3, take the scenic route. It's not always the most direct route, but you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be the prettiest way to get to your destination, and you'll probably see parts of America that you normally wouldn't. Also, tip number 3.5, if you can, travel during a pandemic. There's a lot less traffic on the roads than normal. Okay, that's part joke, but also part truth. We are right outside Sandusky, Ohio. We just stopped for lunch at Panera Bread, and J3 is stretching his legs. We're sitting at a Charger here, and I've never seen this before. It is a Charger. This is his juice. Want some juice? This is a Charger at a gas station. I've never seen this before again, so I think it's actually kind of cool and actually really genius. So take a look here, it's at a Sheetz. Tip number 4, use the features your Tesla offers. Now this should go without saying, but I have to throw it in because sometimes even I forget everything Tesla is capable of. Like right now, using the summon feature to avoid getting rained on, that was gold. But of course, you have to use the best feature of them all, autopilot. Now since we were driving the Honda and the Tesla, we alternated drivers. So using autopilot made the trip way more enjoyable for whoever was driving the Tesla at the moment. I don't think I can say quite the same for the Honda driver. But really, driving can be tiring, and I was definitely less tired on days I was driving the Tesla versus the days I was driving the Honda. And as a bonus, using autopilot also just lets you take in the views you're passing. Now my last tip for this video really should have been my number 1, which is choose the right people to travel with. Your road trip buddies can make or break your trip, am I right? So for us, we traveled with myself, obviously, my husband and J3, and my father-in-law graciously flew up from Mississippi to help us make the drive. And let me tell you, having a third driver to rotate through was not only invaluable, but it also bumped up the fun factor. And that's a huge part of a road trip. And I'm so glad we made these memories together. Okay, so as you can see, we made it to DC, so let's talk costs. Let's look at those numbers. Now the Honda, the grand total from Seattle to Washington, D.C. was $136. I mean, really, that's pretty cheap. So that hybrid definitely did its job. I am proud of the hybrid. I have to say it's not my favorite car, the Tesla is, but I am proud of the Honda. It did a great job. It got us there safely. We were comfortable the whole time. Yeah, I think all in all, it was a pretty solid ride. Now let's talk about the Tesla. Now surprisingly, I thought the Tesla was going to be a lot cheaper than this, but it was still really cheap. The Tesla cost $95.48. Now there's a little bit of a caveat to that because someone did use our referral code, so we did have some free Supercharger miles. Woo woo! So thank you. So we traveled from Seattle to Billings, Montana for free. So the $95.48 was really from Billings, Montana to Washington, D.C. And of course, when we were able to get those destination chargers, we were able to charge there for free, which is always a great added bonus. Now comparing the two cars, of course I'm going to favor the Tesla a little bit more just because, I mean, it's a Tesla. It's got so much to offer. It's so fun just to drive in. The Honda's great too. I'm not hating on the Honda, but we were just really excited to do our first longest road trip ever in an electric car, but not just any electric car, in our Tesla. So this was kind of like a bucket list thing for us. We were really excited to do it. But again, Honda did good too. Now I have to add a few things because I've seen other videos, people have talked about this, which is drafting. Now we did travel, of course, with two cars, so we did kind of maybe draft off each other. I think when my husband and father-in-law drove, they were more of the drafters. So we did have the Honda in front a lot and the Tesla behind. And that could have saved a lot of energy and given us a lot more miles. But I don't really know how to calculate that. I'm really just a novice car fan myself. And also, just for myself, as much as I trust the Honda and I trust autopilot and all of that, I really like to stay a few car spaces away from the car in front of me, just because you never know what could happen. And with me and J3 in the car, we're precious cargo. We can't risk anything happening to our faces. Am I right? But again, overall, it was a really fun trip. Definitely something we would do again. I'm so thankful for the time we got to spend with our family and the memories we got to make. Again, traveling during a pandemic, probably not the best thing to do, but it was kind of our only choice and really probably ended out working really well in the end just because there was so few cars on the road. Well, now that we are here, let me know if you're going on any future road trips. I'd love to kind of follow you along. If you're on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, I'll follow you back. So let me know about your upcoming travel plans. Just drop it in the comments below. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.